Netflix's live-action anime adaptations so far has been like that awkward teenager trying to fit in. At times, painful to watch. While you can still criticize it, this time, Netflix really did One Piece justice. Just like how it was in the manga, the live action starts off with Roger's execution in Loguetown. However, in the live action, we see all the major characters who were at the execution. Of course, there is Garp, but then you also have young Mihawk, Shanks, Buggy, Monkey D. Dragon, Smoker in the crowd. And wait, who is this woman? We know for a fact that young Crocodile was present on Roger's execution, but we only saw him from behind. However, in the live action, we see him from the front? If this is what the community thinks it is, and Crocodile really was a woman before, then that explains his connection with Ivankov. But hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Did you notice the paintings in the Baratier? They are based on real One Piece locations and creatures. We have the painting of the royal squid whom the Straw Hats found inside Laboon in the original story. Another painting shows us the island of rare animals. Unfortunately, Gaimon wasn't part of the live-action storyline, but he can also be seen in the painting of the island of rare animals. That is, if you look close enough. Did you know that Ace found his devil fruit in East Blue? Yes, he found the Mera Mera Nomi on a random uninhabited island in East Blue, the Sixes Island. Ace got stranded here during the start of his journey along with Masked Deuce, who later ended up as his first mate. Check out the One Piece Ace novel for this. How is this relevant in the context of One Piece live-action Easter eggs? Well, the island where Zoro is confronted by Mr. 7 from Baroque Works is Six's Island. Before Zoro kills Mr. 7, he also mentions that he'd rather fight Mr. 1 than Mr. 7. Which is epic, because we know that Zoro is the one who ends up fighting Mr. 1 in Alabasta. Speaking of Zoro, we now know that Zoro's grandmother was Shimotsuku Furiko, but since his grandfather was Roronoa Pinzoro, he never inherited the Shimotsuka name. However, that does not change the fact that Zoro is from the same family as Ryuma, even though we are not going to learn about the significance of this name until Wano and beyond. The One Piece live action had Kuina mention her surname, which was, of course, Shimotsuki. Also, thank you, Netflix, for keeping one of Zoro's most well-loved traits alive in the series. Showing how Zoro gets lost crazy easily, like when they were exploring Kaya's mansion. He says, "It's like a maze in here," when it's literally just a straight corridor. In the foyer of Kaya's mansion, there are also two penguin statues which you may recognize from one of Oda's cover stories. Okay, let's go back in time to Luffy's flashback. When Shanks was stitching little Luffy's wound, you can hear Binks Sasaki playing in the background, as emotional as it is for us One Piece fans because of what we know. It's also a beautiful reminder about the pirates of old times. Way before Roger's or even Brooks' time, Binks Sasaki still existed. Heck, did you know that the final line of this song contains the phrase Warai Banashi? The literal translation would be laugh tale, which is exactly what Roger named the final island, where the One Piece lies. By the way, Luffy did personally confirm that Shanks and his crew used to sing Binks Sasaki. Netflix apparently didn't have enough budget for Richie the Giant Lion, but they at least make a reference to him during the scene where Buggy is criticizing Moji the Lion Tamer. And I guess there wasn't enough time to cover the story of the loyal Shushu, who defended the pet store after his master died in Orangetown. But we do get a few seconds sneak peek at him here. When Luffy first meets Mary, he claims that it feels like the ship is speaking to him. He mentions this a few times in the episodes, which is a nice little reference to the Cloudboutermen, the Going Mary's incarnation or spirit, whom we get to know in Water 7. In one of the scenes, we see a crate from the Galela Shipwright Company from Water 7. Moving on, this one is about the significance of One Piece's lore. No One Piece fan can forget the legendary yet bittersweet story of Mont Blanc Noland. But while in the One Piece anime and manga, we don't learn about him until Jaya and Skypiea. The live action spices things up. After Zoro's fight with Mihawk, he is bedridden, trying to recover in Baratier. Nami starts reading him the story of Noland the Liar. Then again, it's not like any of them could have known the truth about Noland at this point in the story. Right, Luffy? After Sanji joins, there's a scene of him saying that a captain's decisions are what separates him from the rest of the crew. When he says this, Luffy immediately looks at Usopp. which is pretty clever because we know what happens in Water 7. Luffy and Usopp fight each other over Going Merry's fate. Now, let's look at the maps. The closing credits of each episode show us a map of the East Blue, and it updates with each episode. The map itself has plenty of Easter eggs. We see places like the island of the rare animals, which did not make it into the live action, and we also see depictions of sea kings and sea beasts. Plus, we see Kong's name and face under the title of the map. Yes, not only is the world government's commander-in-chief referenced, it is also revealed that he is the one who drew the maps of the One Piece world. Let's not ignore what we see in that scene during the pilot episode when Nami flips through her cartography notebook. It couldn't have been more subtle, but we see a drawing of the Wano country. Next, we have newspapers. Remember how in the Whole Cake Island arc, there had been a war going on in Broccoli Island for the past couple of years? Yes, it went on for 2 years until Sanji's brothers Ichiji and Niji put an end to it. In one of the newspapers carried by Newsbird, it says, "War continues on Broccoli Island." Plus, in the scenes where Kaya is looking at Luffy's wanted poster, there is a newspaper on the table that mentions Revolutionary Army. Not only do we see the bounty posters for the characters who do appear in the live action, we also see quick glimpses of bounty posters of the characters who are going to appear in the future, like Bellamy, Foxy, and Cavendish, who won't appear until Dressrosa. Even Luffy's bounty poster has Usopp in the background, exactly like the source material. During Usopp's flashback, there's a blink and you'll miss it moment where we see a poster announcing the death of Victoria Sindri. She's the famous actress who was made into a zombie by Dr. Hogback on Thriller Bark. The live-action team put a lot of care in the set design. One Piece fans will know Arlong's park is actually modeled after Sabati Park. Arlong couldn't enter it as a kid due to deep-rooted discrimination against the fishmen. Following this, we have the character costumes. You'll notice that the Straw Hats in the live-action switch clothes a lot, unlike the anime. Well, as it turns out, the costumes are actually from One Piece manga cover spreads, and therefore they were all designed by Oda himself. Nami's first outfit in the live action is based on one of Oda's early concepts from even before One Piece started. This design wasn't in the manga or the anime, but we did get to see it in the live action. At this point, watching the One Piece live action might as well be like opening up a time capsule. Here's some other honorable mentions to the team's effort to recreate anime-accurate character designs. The mayors of Orangetown and Windmill Village. Luffy in his iconic Anchor t-shirt as a kid. I hope that when Netflix produces Luffy, Ace, and Sabo's childhood, they'll also faithfully recreate the hilarious t-shirts that they wear. Mr. Seven's character never appeared in the manga nor anime, only as a one-time doodle from Oda. His live-action character design is based on exactly that. They even kept the design of Luffy's failed Jolly Roger exactly the same as the anime and manga. Lastly, in episode 4, the bush behind the well is trimmed into the shape of a panda. Hello Panda Man's official appearance in the live action. Some fans think Oda himself may have had a hidden guest appearance in the live action. What do you guys think?